It's about the I got to say, it's the stupidest thing in sports.
Gets the ball, gets back, pulls up for the win. Got it! Detroit basketball.
Oh, Holloman looks the clock, half court for the win.
Oh! The Lions go for it. The Vikings bring it in. The pass is a touchdown to give. Javi Baez homered earlier. First one in the air, deep left field again. Yes, Tigers win. Javi is unstoppable.
This is BS Sports.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Tigers are more unstoppable today because they're trailing 1-0 here. Hopefully Casey Mize can get himself a nice outing here. Anyway, welcome in to another episode of BS Sports. We're back. And this is the final show before football. Technically the Hall of Fame game is this Thursday. We will be live reacting to that, by the way. And this is the final show before football, like actual games of football, as in 4 quarters, 2 teams on either side, 11 guys on each, and a winner will be crowned, unless there's a tie, because in the NFL you can tie. Don't know why. Don't really know why you can tie, but you can. So anyway, it's an exciting time. Right? I mean, obviously the MLB trade deadline here is in a few days. It's weird. Last couple of years, the trade deadline has been the day of the show. That's just how it ended up, ending up on the calendar. So this is the first time that we're going to have the trade deadline. It's kind of like the worst possible day, at least for show purposes, because Thursday is like, by the time we get to the following Tuesday, it's like, it's not brand new news. So it's like I'm recapping stuff that happened 4 days ago. But anyway, that's for me to worry about. There are other things to talk about. We got a good amount of things that I'd like to get to. And the thing I have to start with is the thing that catches my attention the most, which is this Emmanuel Clase story. So we don't know that much right now, other than Emmanuel Clase has been placed in basically intermittent leave. He's been told, don't come to work. We're investigating you for gambling. That's what's going on. And look, I'm reminded of the age-old adage. When it was Jonte Porter for the Toronto Raptors, I said nothing. I probably laughed at him. When it was, I'm trying to think of who the next, those random minor league guys in MLB for the Padres, and I think the Diamondbacks as well, I said, I don't care. And then it was Malik Beasley. And now it's Emmanuel Clase. And look, if you think it's going to end with Emmanuel Clase, I just think you are naive at this point, because unfortunately for us, these sports gambling companies and these sports books and these apps, they have taken over all 4 sports leagues. The NHL is not safe. The MLB is obviously not safe. The NBA, of course, is obviously not safe. And just wait until the NFL finds out about one of these. And look, right now, the guy with the most pedigree so far is probably Emmanuel Clase. I mean, last year, obviously, he was an elite closer for the Cleveland Guardians in the playoffs, went to the ALCS. He was, I don't think he got any AL Cy Young votes, but, he was outside of Tarek Skubal. If for whatever reason it wasn't going to be Tarek Skubal, he was probably the next guy potentially to get it. So he's a guy with some pedigree. And now he, depending on what this investigation finds and what MLB and Cleveland ends up doing, we could see a lifetime ban of an Emmanuel Clase. We could. And I'm sorry, but I don't care what level of star you are as a player. You just can't be betting on games, period. I don't care if you're not involved. I don't care if you are betting on yourself. I don't care if you're betting against your opponent. You just simply cannot bet on games you're involved. I can't believe I have to tell professional athletes who make millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that you can't gamble on a league you currently are employed in. Now, because there are going to be some people who will defend this and say, well, what do you mean? If he's betting on himself, if he's saying he's going to get 3 strikeouts or whatever, what's the big deal? He's going to try to get strikeouts anyway, so why shouldn't he? Here's the thing. The reason you can't bet on yourself in those cases is because it changes the calculation for how you go about the game. Now, what you might be thinking is, what do you mean? Emmanuel Clase is always trying to pitch strikeouts. Of course. But now he's trying to pitch strikeouts with that bet in mind, knowing, ooh, okay, I can't just afford, I don't want to just get a ground ball or a pop-up or, a line drive right to the fielder. I don't want that. I want to get a strikeout. So instead of throwing some of my, off-speed stuff, I'm just going to throw gas and try to beat the hitter. And that could change the game. Or in a much worse sense, obviously we don't know that this sort of thing could happen, but I'm going to throw the heater. I don't know how much control I have. Oops, I accidentally hit a guy in the left leg and he's out for the season. Or oops, I accidentally threw a ball behind my catcher and here comes a guy from third and the game's tied or you lose the game or whatever. It changes the calculation in your mind to where you're more willing to do something that you otherwise would not have been willing to do. And again, if you're betting against the team, it's the same thing. It just adds to the level of extra things that you really, really now want to do it. Because even if you want to say, well, they really want to win anyway. Now there's a financial incentive. Now, or more of a financial incentive than there otherwise would have been. It's not so simple as saying, well, they're just going to play hard anyway. The question isn't whether they're going to play hard. The question is whether that playing hard is more than it would be otherwise, or in a sense, is compromising your ability to think rationally in a tight spot. Like, again, I could go over, like, you got a guy on third base and you want to get a strikeout, but you're up only 1 run, and instead of, you got 2 outs, but you want to get a strikeout so that you win it, instead of just trying to get an out one way or the other, whether it's a ground ball, a fly out, a foul out, whatever, you're throwing pitches that are strikeout pitches as opposed to pitches that are just going to get you outs anyway. And that might actually be more favorable against the particular batter you're in front of. All of that to say, even throwing that away, okay, what really is the benefit to having sports gambling legal? Like, I've heard some people say, well, it's kind of fun, and sure, I don't deny that. I'm sure it's entertaining. I'm sure you can get a rise out of it. It's like, oh wow, I get to watch. Oh, is this guy gonna get 2.5 hits, or is this guy gonna, get 102 yards, whatever it might be, whatever you're betting on. I'm sure it's entertaining, but is it really worth it? I mean, like, every one of these gambling ads has a disclaimer for if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or whatever the call number is. And you're also now obviously getting these athletes who make a lot of money and now lose out on all that. So you got people getting addicted to this stuff because it's just on your phone and people are already addicted to their phones. So you got people getting addicted to it on their phone, losing a bunch of money. Then on top of it, you got athletes throwing away careers and millions of dollars because, they want to make a quick extra buck, quote unquote, betting on themselves. And the real winners of this are basically just the sports books. like the only people who really get by on this, that are really happy about the whole situation, is the sports books. Because why? They get advertising. I mean, FanDuel Sports Network, okay, that's free. Like, they literally broadcast Tiger games and Red Wings games and Pistons games and plenty of other teams' games. So it's not even just like, oh wow, they have their ads in ESPN, which ESPN, by the way, also has a sports book, ESPN Bet. So it's pervading the sports world so much that you can't avoid it. You can't go on any sports site outside of maybe a news article and avoid the the constant sports book, odds or bet now, get your free $500 bet and you'll get, 300 in bonus bets or what, it's so pervasive, and it is kind of like a drug, right? Like it's like you do it and it feels good the first time, and then you're hooked. And then suddenly you need to bet more. And then you're doing these crazy parlays that have like 2% chances of winning, and you lose a bunch of money, but then you're so confident, and you don't realize you're dealing with real life human beings that is so unpredictable. And suddenly you lose all your money. You're all sucked into this stuff. I could go on and on. This stuff is just not worth it. Like, what, how has the sports world gotten better by this? People routinely will say, oh my gosh, I can't stand all the sportsbook ads. I can't stand all the betting stuff. ESPN Bet is out of its mind. I can't take it. Every sports talk show I listen to, some gambling sponsorship, or they're talking about odds or whatever. It's so pervasive. It's impossible to avoid. And yet nobody, at least it seems to me, nobody is just asking the question, hey, why don't we just go back to making this stuff illegal? It wasn't legal for a very long time. You had to actually go to Las Vegas to actually, bet on these things. But now it becomes legal. You get all these sportsbook apps. Seriously, I've gone down the list here. Like MGM, Bet Rivers, Bet Online, FanDuel, Fanatics, ESPN Bet, DraftKings. Those are just 7 off the top of my head. I think did I already say FanDuel? I don't those are just 7 sports books off the top of my head that I didn't know existed until within the last couple of years. And some of them didn't even exist in the last couple of years. Like ESPN at this point probably makes more money on their sports book than they do on actual people watching their TV shows, which is kind of funny because their TV shows aren't very good anymore. But it's gotten to the point where maybe we just need to go back. Maybe we just need to say, you know what? The sports betting stuff, we need to just go back to it being illegal, or at the very least, go back to it not being available on your phone, because clearly these athletes, they're not, they're not informed enough in so much as they're not being told, hey, do not be gambling on your phone, or do not be gambling, period. Just don't do it, because you're going to get caught. Even if you think you're slick, somebody's going to catch you, and then you're going to throw away millions and millions of dollars. Like, if Emmanuel Clase, he's making like $4.5 million this year. I think next year he makes $6 million, something like that. Like, if he gets banned, that money goes poof. That money goes away, away, away. That's, look, is it, cajillions of dollars? Is it no, but it's enough money to be life-changing for your family, for your wife, for your kids. I don't know if he's married or has children, but for your parents, for your brother, for your sister, for whoever, for old man down the street who just needs a couple of bucks. You are throwing away money for a small thrill. And, look, I'm not going to do the whole joke because it'd take too long, but it's kind of like the orange for a head joke that I think Norm Macdonald did, where, a guy gets 3 wishes. One wish he wishes for a bunch of women. The other wish he wishes for a bunch of money. And then the final wish he wishes for an orange for a head. Basically, point of the joke, I know jokes are very funny when you explain them. You get everything you ever wanted, and then once you do, you just do something stupid. And maybe that's what this is. It's like, you get to make it to professional sports. You're a star in the league. You're an all-star. Your team gives you a multi-million-dollar contract, and then you just can't help yourself. You have to do something stupid. I don't understand it, but I'm sure we all do this, right? We all do stupid things that we can't rationalize, and usually it's when we get so successful and so caught up in things that we're like, gosh, I really need to self-sabotage in some ways. So things are going too well. I might as well wish for an orange for a head. So basically, Emmanuel Clase may have just wished for an orange for a head, allegedly, potentially, possibly. We'll see. Hopefully he's not guilty. Hopefully it's just a nothing, and the investigation finds nothing. I seriously, and I say this as a a fan of a rival team. I don't want anybody to get banned for something stupid. Look, if he murdered 60 children, then yeah, he should get banned. But like to get banned for something like this, like, dude, this is not worth it to get banned for. I got to know what kind of bets he was making. Like, dude, you're making, like, you got a $20 million contract. What are you betting on that is so worth it that you would throw that away to potentially get what, like a few $1,000s? A few $10,000? You're making that an at bat. Like every out you get, you get that many thousands of dollars. So anyway, I'm tired of the sports betting stuff. I've never taken part of it. I think it's a bad habit. I think a lot of people lose their minds because of it. So, and lose their money, which is not as important as losing your mind, but it's one can lead to the other. Losing your money can lead to losing your mind. Losing your mind can definitely lead to losing your money. So, not good. Hoping for this to be the final case of this. And if I were an athlete, one final thing, if I were an athlete and I just happen to have FanDuel downloaded on my phone because I don't know, I like to bet college basketball or something, you know what I would do? I would just delete the app and never look back. I would delete it and never look back. So if there are any Detroit athletes, we've already experienced it with Malik Beasley. If you have one of these apps, I implore you, delete it. Just delete it. I don't care. No, don't look back. Just delete the app. Go on your phone. It's very easy. I mean, I don't know how it is on Android, but it's very easy on iPhone. You just hold your little app and you just click the little X and hit delete, and you never look back. And your life will probably be perfectly good. It will be perfectly good. You'll never have want of money. If you're a professional athlete, you're definitely not going to have want of money for the most part. And you won't lose all that money doing something stupid like betting the over on the Padres versus Colorado Rockies. It's just not worth it. Just not worth it. I feel like an old 90s ad campaign. Andy Ibanez just hit a 1-out double. Andy Ibanez. Wenzel Perez, not Andy Ibanez. Completely different human being. Actually, I like Wenzel Perez. It's the first extra base hit since July 4th for Wenzel Perez. That's not a desirable stat. That's not a stat you want to be known for. And Z-Mac is up. Boy, we're loading it up with lefties against Pafatit. I'm assuming it's just Fat. Or Fatit. Whoever the pitcher is for the Diamondbacks. I'd like to see if we can at least bring this into a one-run game. That's a nice pop-out for Zach McKinstry. So that's good. Don't even advance the runner. Who's up next? Is it Dingler? Might be Dingler. Number 7? I think it's Dylan Dingler. If I just keep saying it, it'll be Dylan. Yeah, it's a right-handed bat. I think it's Dylan Dingler. I'm pretty sure it's Dylan Dingler. Do you guys think it's Dylan? I think it's Dylan Dingler. Is that Dylan Dingler? It is Dylan Dingler. Look at me. I'm right. It was the number 8 hitter. Not even the number 7 hitter. Because Matt Vierling, I believe, is the number 9 hitter. Oh. Jeez, this is a really tight strike zone for this home plate umpire. It's like a few inches smaller than the FanDuel Sports screen there. Dingler leads the team with a 308 average this month. That's something. As he swings and misses. Need a good hit here, Dingler. Let's get us to within 1. We're down 2-0. Casey Mize has already been taken out of the game. He gave up just 2 runs. Didn't even pitch 2 innings. That's really unfortunate. I mean, he needed a good outing. But it's been rough. And it's been rough for a lot of guys. Checked his swing. Didn't go. Okay. That's surprising. Dylan Dingler likes to swing. Can he hit a home run, please? Can he hit a home run? We'll get back to the show as soon as this at least this inning is over. Hopefully we can tie it up here. That'd be nice. Oh, they're gonna throw back to Perez. He's safe. Okay. Woo. I was confused. They were throwing back to second base. Boy, he did not like that lead. Oh, geez, Perez. It wasn't a great throw, but Perez tripped on the dirt. Yeah, you gotta have your feet below you, man. Don't wanna have them parallel to the ground. Ideally. Now it's 2-strike count to Dingler. All right, come on, Dylan. Come on. Let's line one into right. Okay, full count. See, the thing is, I'd almost rather. I mean, I guess you'd rather a walk than an out in any circumstance. Just give yourself more of a chance. But Pafat here, I just don't. I don't want to have to leave it up to Matt Vierling. That's my fear. 3-2. Come on now, Dingler. That's an out. Okay. 2 innings in a row, we threaten and we don't score. And the difference is in both of those base runners. So that's fun. I guess the first time we had a 2-out double. This time we had a 1-out double, which means Matt Vierling, I guess he doesn't necessarily have to have a double. He could get a walk and then the leadoff man gets a double. But maybe, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully the Tigers can come back. Speaking of the Tigers, let's talk a little bit of the trade deadline, because at least for the Tigers, they did do a little bit of something, at least so far. Obviously, the trade deadline is this Thursday, so this is subject to change. But currently, the main move the Tigers did was trade Brewer Hicklin for Cat. No, I'm not going to talk about that one. That was a random. That I don't even. I think I've heard the name Brewer Hicklin, but we're going to move along. The Tigers do trade, however, for Chris Paddock from Minnesota, as well as Randy Dobnak. They give up one of their catching prospects. All I need to know about their catching prospect was he was 19 years old in rookie ball. So I do not care. I don't know if I have that Stephen A. Smith, the We Don't Care. I don't think I have that. Do I have that? Hold on. I do not. I don't think so. Hold on. We're going to see if I can find it. I don't think I have. I have this. Hey. I just wanted to use that one. I haven't used that one in a while. But yeah, we give up a catcher for basically 2 depth pitchers. Chris Paddock, I believe, got some starts for Minnesota this year. He's got a decent strikeout rate. That's about it. Like his ERA is like closer to, it's like 4.5, something like that. Unfortunately, you lose Reese Olson for the season due to, I think it was just shoulder inflammation, which is like, what does that even? How bad was this guy's shoulder that he's just randomly out for the year? But anyway, you lose Reese Olson, and at the same time, you bring in Paddock and Dobnak. Dobnak is basically a nothing. I mean, I think he's probably going to be a minor league depth piece. He pitched for Minnesota in their minor league system. I think he had like a 7 ERA. Now, granted, I remember something similar with like Brant Herter and Hannafy and Salmons or whatever some of the other pitchers we picked up I don't know if it was the trade deadline or if it was just guys that we managed to pick up throughout after the trade deadline. But so it's like, look, you never know. Maybe Scott Harris sees something in Dobnak or in Paddock that is, perfect for Chris Fetter, and the Twins just weren't utilizing either of those guys correctly. We'll see. I really don't have a problem with the move. I like the idea of us moving off of a catcher prospect who's in rookie ball to get someone who can help us now, because look, what's the point of having that 19-year-old catcher who's not going to be here until 2030, basically, especially when you already have Dylan Dingler, who, despite the strikeout in this, or not the strikeout, the pop out there with the runner in scoring position, has been really good for you. And you got Tyron Lorenzo, and Briseño is another one of these guys. you have a bit of a logjam at catcher, so I'm fine with getting rid of a 19-year-old in rookie ball to help boost your pitching staff this year. Now, with that being said, that simply cannot be the only move. And none of the beat writers and none of the rumor mill people, none of them are indicating that is the only move that will be made. But you got 2 more days. You got tomorrow, and then you got, I think the deadline ends at like 5 or 6 o'clock, something like that. That's usually when it ended. I believe that's when it ended last year, maybe 4 o'clock. Either way, you can't have that be your only move. And I doubt that's going to be the case. However, the Tigers, in my mind, given right now they're down 2-0 to the Diamondbacks. Maybe they'll come back, maybe they'll win. That's fine. I just feel a growing desire in my soul to get a hitter. And that hitter's name is Eugenio Suarez. Now, there's one problem. Will Vest decided to go rogue last night, and he hit Eugenio Suarez on I think it was his right hand, or maybe his left. It was one of his hands. Hit him on his finger. Negative X-ray. He's going to be fine. He's not playing tonight, though. We'll see if he ends up playing tomorrow, because for Arizona's mind, they might think, well, we might as well not play him if we're taking trade offers. But now it's like, okay, well, how healthy is he? Obviously, the X-rays were negative, but is it like, are they trying to like, oh no, he's totally fine. He's not hurt at all. And then actually he might be a little hurt. I say this. It's a rental guy. He's going to be a free agent next year. They don't have a whole lot of leverage to ask for a bunch because of that. Now we know he might not even, be 100%. He's a former Tiger, so he's already, been here at some point. We traded him away for basically nothing. That was one of the Dave Dombrowski specials. And he would just be the perfect fit. He plays third base. We really don't have a third baseman. He hits for power. While we do have some decent power hitters in Torkelson and even with Greeny, we really don't have that like home run threat guy. Like, we don't have that guy that you're like, okay, at any given moment, this guy's going to hit a bomb. And Suarez is that. He's not a high average guy, but he is a high power guy. I mean, there's a reason he's hit that many home runs. It just feels almost too good to be true. Now, the problem is, I don't know how much am I willing to give for a 1-year rental guy, especially right now with a team that's kind of struggling and maybe they're not as good as we thought they were. So maybe we want to hold on to some of these younger guys because they might come up and they might be a part of that core that when we really are good enough. But then there's the part of me that says, man, screw all that. I want the guy who hits 30 home runs right now. I don't want to worry about if, I don't know, Jace Young or any of these. I don't care. I want Eugenio Suarez, and I want him now. So, look, I'm never going to fault a team for trying to get better. And I think when you make a trade one way or the other, whether even when you sell, the idea is you're trying to get better in the future. What I don't accept is the do nothing approach, is the, well, we don't want to give out the Steve Yzerman, we don't want to give out term, or we don't want to, we like our guys. Like, if it's one thing if the asking price is basically Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, and Tarek Skubal, okay, if they're asking for that, they can go to hell. But it takes two to tango. These the Diamondbacks have to be serious about selling. They already sold off Josh Naylor to the Mariners. They are kind of in the midst of a retooling stage for them. And it's just a few years ago, they were in the World Series, but now they're just kind of circling the drain a little bit. So they need to kind of retool a little bit. And Suarez, I think, is probably only going to cost you like 2, maybe 3 prospect. He's a rental. He's not going to be. We're not. I don't think we'd plan on signing him. So I don't know. Maybe you give up a Jace Young or a. Obviously you need more than Jace Young. But you know what? Let me pull up the Tigers' top prospect because I've probably done this before. Tigers' top prospects. Let's just take a look. Okay. So I'd say pretty much in the top 5. I'm not willing to go there. Not willing to go there for a rental. The only one that maybe I'd be willing to go with will be Bryce Rayner. And the only reason I say that before people get mad is because you already have Kevin McGonigal at shortstop, and he's going to be here in 2, maybe even 1 year, depending on how quickly he goes. And Bryce Rayner is currently in A-ball and won't be here until he's 2028. So, look, Rayner might be a fine player. I guess in my mind, if you already have your shortstop, you don't need a billion shortstops, so to speak. Again, not necessarily a reason to move him, but here's what it is. Obviously Troy Melton, he just had a great night yesterday. Maybe you throw him. I'm not saying you should because you actually really do need pitching. And if Troy Melton is legit, then maybe you hold on to it. Maybe it's a How You Lee, a guy who's going to be ready pretty soon. But you get your third baseman right now, and I guess you worry about the future for that position. I'm not sure if they will be willing to go there. Maybe it's Max Anderson might be one of those guys instead of How You Lee. I'm just going down the list here. I was gonna say Ty Madden. I don't think they want Ty Madden, but maybe you throw him in. Maybe they feel like they can fix him. Dylan Smith. I didn't even think he was in our top prospect. That's crazy. Either way, there's these trades. I don't think you're gonna see Kevin McGonigal, Max Clark, and Josue Briseño for Eugenio Suarez. If you do, then those guys must have something wrong with them. Basically, there's no way that you would be willing to part with those 3 guys, and you shouldn't part with those 3 guys. That's stupid. But can you part with a Max Anderson? Can you part with maybe a Franyerba Montilla or an Owen Hall, a Jaden Ham? Wonder if he's got a friend or a friend or a buddy named Jaden Bacon, Jaden Pork. Sorry, I just wanted to make a joke. I thought that was funny. But yeah, look, Eugenio Suarez is the guy. Am I going to freak out if they don't get him? No. Will I be very upset? Yes, especially if another team gets him for 2 prospects. If another team gets him for 2 prospects and they're not even in their top 10, I'm going to scream. That will be very upsetting. But if they give up, if another team gives up their number 3 and number 5 prospect, I'll be like, all right, you know what? I'm not doing that because our prospects are worth way more. And so if they wanted some other team's top 5 prospects, because I don't know, they just wanted a top 5 prospect, then take them. But our prospects are going to be probably much better, just given our farm system ranking. So the Tigers are, I think, in prime position to be buyers. And I think getting some more relief help. David Bednar was another one of these guys the Tigers could be looking out to grab. David Bednar and Eugenio Suarez. That would be Mike's dream. If I come back to you next Tuesday or on Thursday night for the Lions Hall of Fame game, and I have David Bednar, Eugenio Suarez, and maybe some random relief arm that costs 1 prospect, I will be a happy man. I will be let me see. I will be like Jason Tatum.
We did it!
That will be me. That will be on Saturday. On Thursday, I'll just be yelling like Jason Tatum. That's that. All right. Tigers once again. Well, not threatening, I guess. It's a man on first. Gleyber Torres got a line drive hit. Carpenter 1 for 1. He had a double. Come on, Carp. Let's get the tying home run. Let's get right back into this game, buddy. Let's do it right here, right now. Okay, that's a foul ball. I couldn't tell where the ball went. That was he missed it by a little bit, just by a hair, or was it just swing and a miss? I thought it was foul ball. Just missed it by a hair. That's okay. It's all right. You do better with a 2-strike count. I don't know if that's true. All right, come on. And he popped it up. Popped it up on the infield. And okay. Okay, it's funny. We got as many hits, but obviously their hits have been more timely. So it is what it is. It's only 2 runs. I mean, geez, guys, can we really not score 2 runs? Still very early, but still, man. Golly. So what do I want to talk about next? I guess we could talk a little bit more about the trade deadline. So a few moves have been made. I did mention Josh Naylor going to the Mariners. They give up just a couple of minor league pitchers to the Diamondbacks there. I think that's a really solid trade for them. Good. What position does Josh Naylor play? Isn't he a first baseman? Yeah, first baseman. This year having an incredible season. 294 average, 12 homers, 124 OPS plus. He's a 1-WAR player, winning player. He hasn't been on Seattle for very long at this point. He's got just 15 at bats. But he's got a 333 average. So he's already got a home run with him. So I think it's a great move. Seattle is kind of a sleeper team a little bit. Cal Raleigh is playing at an MVP level, and he might win it, given Aaron Judge is going to be injured here. So I think it's a really solid move. I like Josh Naylor. I couldn't believe when Cleveland let this guy walk. I also couldn't believe that nobody really picked him up to any, major contract, because I always thought he was a really solid player. He just signs a 1-year deal with Arizona. I don't know why he. It's funny because he signed a 1-year, $10 million
deal. What are you doing, Cleveland? You have Steven Kwan. You have J-Ram, Jose Ramirez. And you don't want to pay this guy, Josh Naylor, 1 year, $10 million? Okay. Well, enjoy watching him do well in Seattle, I guess. The other trades that I put on here were both Yankees trades. The Yankees, obviously given the Aaron Judge injury, they're trying to boost their offense. So they go out and they get Ryan McMahon. So Ryan McMahon, he's a bit of a controversial player in so much as he's actually a below average hitter. He's got a 96 OPS plus, 223 average. He's got 16 home runs and 38 RBIs. But he's not been great. He not been great overall. With Colorado, he was hitting 217. He had a 717 OPS plus, or OPS plus, 717 OPS. His OPS plus with Colorado was 92. Now, obviously, very, very small sample size with the Yankees. He's already got 4 hits. He's already got 3 RBIs, 444 average. So immediately, Kyle McMahon making an impact in the pinstripes. I don't know that that's sustainable. I think that change in scenery is going to really benefit him. I like Kyle McMahon. He was one of the guys in the offseason that I thought the Tigers, it might be worthwhile to go out and get him. But he's kind of turned out to be kind of a decent player, not an amazing player. He signed until 2027, so the Yankees didn't really have to give up too much. I believe they only gave up a couple of minor league pitchers. I don't remember where they were ranked or anything, but give it just a couple of minor leaguers, a couple of prospects for a guy that they'll have for the next couple of years. And look, I mean, he is a former All-Star. Just, last year he was an All-Star, his first All-Star season. But still, he's always been. Oh, wow, that's an amazing catch. What the heck did I just see? Oh my gosh. Can we see that again? Oh my gosh. He caught it, then he dropped it, then he caught it again, and then he caught it. And then he threw it in his glove. This is amazing. Vierling going for the wall,
gets it in his glove. It bounces out on the wall, and then he hurdles it. Wow. What a play. That's a really good play by Vierling. And he saves extra bases, which is probably the most important thing. Because if you could keep it a 2-run game for Brant Herter, please. Anyway, I like the player. I don't think he's like a stud or like an absolute killer of a player. But look, maybe change the scenery. Maybe like a winning culture. He can, become a more impactful player. I think it's a fine move. The move that I do really like, though, and this is a move that, this is another one of these players that I think people know about, but people don't realize how actually really good this guy is. Ahmed Rosario. Now, you look at his counting stats, and you're like, okay, he's a .1 WAR guy, so he's barely, doing much as far as the winning. But he's got 275 average, a 111 OPS plus. He obviously doesn't have a whole lot of RBIs or home runs, but the OPS numbers are really good. He plays, what does he play? The outfield? He plays a variety of positions. He's kind of a utility guy. He's played short. He's played second. He's played out. I don't really know why this guy, again, just is not getting maneuvered. Like, he's been bouncing around teams. I remember him on Cleveland, and he was kind of a pain for us. I remember, like he had a season there in 2022, 106 OPS plus. He had just last year, 2024, it was a 114 OPS plus. This year, he's got a 111 OPS plus. With the Yankees, the team they just joined, he immediately made an impact. He's already got at least a hit here for the Yankees, batting 1,000. So, I think it's a really good move. Again, it's like it seems like the Yankees are trying to recreate Aaron Judge in the aggregate. Shout out Moneyball. I think he's a good player. He's a bit of a vet at this point. How old is he? 20. Oh, he's only 21. Wait, no. Okay, that's when he's debuted. I was going to say, how old is he? He's 25? Is that right? No, he's 29. I don't know why I didn't just scroll down. He's a vet. I was like, that doesn't seem right. 25 years old seems way too young. Yeah, 29 years old. He's a solid player. Again, Yankees are trying to recreate Aaron Judge in the aggregate. Will it work? I don't know. But I like the player. So, decent move. This is a guy I wouldn't mind, again, on a short-term deal. I wouldn't mind the Tigers getting this guy in the offseason. I wouldn't. But you're going to have to compete. He's also really good for the immaculate grid. So that's another thing that can be very helpful. You need Mets, Yankees players, or Mets, Dodgers, or Rays, or Reds, Nationals, Cleveland. He does seem to play for a lot of bigger markets. I mean, he played for New York twice. Well, now twice. Played for Washington, which is not a big market. Played for Los Angeles. Cleveland's not a big market. I guess he kind of splits it up. He's a popular guy. He gets around. I like Ahmed Rosario. What's his nickname? El Nino or Rosie? Is that the whole nickname? El Nino or Rosie? Or is it... What is Rose? Okay, Rosario. Okay, I get it. That one, it took me a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm a bit slow. El Nino, that one I don't get. What is Nino? What does that mean? El Nino. Okay, I need it in English. El Nino meaning. The AI gave me an answer in Spanish. The term El Nino, Spanish for the Christ child, refers to a warming of the ocean surface or above average what? What? Huh? Now I'm even more confused than when it was the Christ child. So either Ahmed Rosario his nickname is Christ, essentially, which seems a little... I mean, the guy's never been an all-star. I don't know that seems a little much. Or it refers to a warming of the ocean surface or above average sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Oceans. Where is he from? Where is he from?
from the Dominican Republic. That's not even the Pacific. That's the Atlantic. I'm so confused. How do these nicknames get started, man? That's what I want to know. Rosie, I get. Right? Rosario. Rosie. I get it. That one makes sense. El Nino, I don't get that one. That one's confusing me. Somebody who speaks Spanish and or is a Met, Cleveland Guardian, Dodger, Reds, Rays, Yankees, or Nationals fan who likes Ahmed Rosario could please explain that one. Be much appreciated. All right. Can the Tigers please show some life? I'd like to at least score one run, guys. This inning, can we score one? Riley Green, leadoff home run. Come on. All right, well, that's a leadoff. That's like double or triple territory. Go, Riley, go. That might be triple. No, he's going to stay for a double. Okay, that's good. All right, there you go. It's a way to start an inning. 22nd double of the year for Riley. Okay. Very cool. Good job, Riley. He runs like Luigi. Like the video game character. It's like it's like his arm thrusts are much shorter relative to his strides that he has on his feet, and that's very Luigi-esque. All right, Torque. Okay, first pitch swinging, and you pop it up into shallow right. Oh, maybe they don't know where it is. No, they know where it is. This is like, can you please? You need to string together good at-bats in a row. Like, you can't. Who's the mystery guest? Oh my gosh, it's Pause. Pause has infiltrated the broadcast booth, and he's pouring, what's that, silly string? Or what is that? He just poured, is it Jason Benetti's birthday? What in the world is going on? It's so weird watching this broadcast with no audio. I love Pause, though. I love him. He's one of my, I love all the Detroit sports mascots, but even if I wasn't, I just love Pause. He's so goofy. He's got a little beard now. Did you notice that? I don't remember him having a beard as a kid. I think he's getting old. How old what's that? How long do tigers live? How old do tigers live? 10 to 15 years in the wild. Well, okay. Is he in the wild? Not exactly. He's not in captivity. They don't throw him in a cage or in an exhibit. Okay, but that doesn't bode well though, because he's definitely been around. He's definitely been around for more than 15 years. So maybe he's just living a really long time. Either way. Okay, good take, Wenzel. Come on, Wenzel. We're only in our second trip through. Hold on. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Pitcher swaps team mid-game. Sir Anthony Dominguez. Was he just traded? Sir Anthony Dominguez only needed a short walk. There you go. There's a base hit. Is Riley going to get home? No, he won't. Dang. Oh, man. That's a good hit. But he hit it almost too hard. Or it's too fast off the bat that it went right. And Riley didn't get a good read on it either. Yeah. He would have just gone. He would have been home, but he didn't. Probably the right move, though. All right. Now we got to get another hit. Can we please? I said, can we just score one run? You don't even need a hit. Just get the ball. What is that? That is Jason Benetti is what a national treasure. I just love Pause. All right, come on, McKinstry. All I need from you is a ball deep in play. I don't even need a base hit. I just need a ball hit deep in play. Please. I'm begging. I'm on my knees begging. I'm not literally on my knees. I'm not going to do that. It's not becoming. This is a family show. We're not going to do that. All right, come on, McKinstry. Season with runners in scoring position, 194. Less than ideal. Less than ideal average with runners in scoring position. 571 OPS. It's less than ideal. It's not what we're looking for. Did he just smooch his bat?
I think he did. I don't think I've seen that. I hope that works. Let's see what happens. He's got an 0-2 count, which is not, once again, it's less than ideal. All I need from you, Z-Mac, is just hit it deep into right field. Or left field. Or center field. Just hit it deep. Okay, it's a ball. I'll take that. Literally. Wow, that's like inches from the strike zone. Less than that. Like less than an inch. I wonder if, like, with a tee, I could get a base hit. I don't think I could. I don't think I could get the ball in the air. Oh my gosh, he swung on a pitch low. I just want one run. If you can at least cut the lead in half, like get into their bullpen a little bit, and then, you know, go from there. Because that's when we really came alive offensively last night, was their bullpen, I think. I don't remember. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. But somehow they've got 2 runs and we've got none. We're both 1 for 6. All right, come on, Dylan. Come on, Dingler. This would be a great time for a home run. You're the leading run. Come on, Dylan. Last time you were up, I wanted you to hit a home run to tie the game. Now I want you to hit a home run to get us the lead. All right, that's strike 1. That's off to a great start. Guys, I don't think we're going to score a run this inning here. Is Pafatit, is he really going to shut us out? I guess he's only 4 innings in. It feels like we're way deeper into this game. It feels like this game's been going on for an eternity. And a swing and a miss. 0-2 again. Tigers have good at-bats challenge. Impossible. Come on, Dylan. Come on, buddy. You got a 323 average. 886 OPS with runners in scoring position. That's really good. All right? Come on. You're the guy that you want to have up in this spot. Right? In theory. You think? Just don't swing at a pitch outside. Okay. They tried to throw. They faked the throw down to second. Perez steals second base. Okay. Now you're in a much different situation here. Now you get a base hit. You tie this game up. Okay. All right. That's a big move. Nice base running there from Perez. Come on, Dingler. Come on, buddy. Hit one the opposite way. Hit one to right field corner. Come on. Oh, is that going to drop? Yes. Okay. Riley scores. Is Wenzel going to score? Yes. There you go. Yes. All right. There you go, Dingler. 2-2. All right. See, I couldn't tell. The broadcast didn't do a great job. I guess if I was listening, I would have been able to hear it. But it's like the ball dropped in front of the fielder, so I didn't know if Wenzel got a good jump on it. But that's a huge stolen base, though. Wenzel doesn't steal second base. We don't have a tie game. We have just a 2-1 game. But Dylan Dingler coming through. 2-2. With 2 strikes. He started that count. Or he started that at bat 0-2. All right. Now it's just reeling. I don't care. I don't care. We're going to move along. All right. So, final segment here. The Lions are playing a football game this week. It feels so strange to say that because it's July and it will be July by the end of this week. Or, well, I guess the beginning of this week or the end of this week. It'll be the beginning of August. But the Lions are playing a football game. And I have a couple of questions. Question number 1. How quickly is this game going to get really boring? And question number 2, is there really anyone in particular to even look out for from a Lions fan's perspective? Here's my thing. As far as how quickly this game is going to get boring, very quickly. The Chargers have announced that Trey Lance will be starting that game, which might actually increase the interest level for me. Because First of all, number 1, I didn't even know Trey Lance was playing for the Chargers. Didn't know that was a thing. But secondly, I mean, this guy is a former first overall pick, former first round pick. You know, obviously he's kind of been tossed around since Brock Purdy took his spot in San Francisco when he got hurt. But he's probably not that good. And there's a reason that he's on the Chargers because teams just, he really should never have gone in the first round to begin with, but the 2020 season was just a weird year. Anyway, that does increase my interest a little bit. As far as the Lions go, am I looking for Hassanin? I don't even know if he's playing. Am I looking for Isaac Tesla, whatever you pronounce the guy's name? Nah, maybe. Or am I looking for preseason legend, absolute stud, vanilla Megatron, Thomas Kennedy, no relation to either RFK Jr. or RFK Sr. or JFK that I'm aware of. We don't know. He could be related in some way. But look, it's okay. Outside of some of those guys that I already named, and then Tom Kennedy is a little bit of a joke, but this guy manages to this guy's living life like he's got the best job in the world. You know why? Because he gets to play on the practice squad. I don't know how much. Let me see actually how much money Tom Kennedy makes. Tom Kennedy. Let's see. Can I look up contract? Here we are. Tom Kennedy. Look at this. What a life this guy gets to live. This year he gets to make $1.1 million. To what? To play for the practice squad. He gets $1 million to play for the practice squad and go off in preseason exhibition games, which mean absolutely nothing. And if he doesn't do well, yeah, that's okay, Tommy boy. That's all right. That's fine. We love you, kiddo. There's no problem there. It's kind of great. He's living the life. Good for him. Anyway. In all seriousness, I don't know who's going to be starting quarterback for the Lions, but in my mind, it has to be Hendon Hooker. Not for, because he's actually so good, but for his own sake. If he's not securely the backup of this team, because obviously Jared Goff, he's not losing that job unless he's forced out. But if Hendon Hooker, the guy you traded to get that with that third round pick, who was hurt going into that year, he didn't play. You finally got to see him last year in the preseason, and it wasn't amazing. And then in the playoffs, when Jared Goff went down, you thought maybe he was going to get his shot to go in a high leverage spot. But no, they ended up going with Teddy Bridgewater, who they literally had just signed. This has to be, I can't believe we're doing this because it's such a really nothing story. But in reality, look, you do kind of need to have a good backup. Not because if you're bringing in the backup, you're probably in a bad spot anyway. But it's good for practice. And it's a solid, option in terms of trading. In my mind, if he can go out there in this preseason and he can just dial it up, he can just disintegrate defenses. He's just dotting up his receivers. Tom Kennedy's getting 100-yard games. Khalif Raymond or whoever ends up. I don't know if Khalif is going to be playing any of these games, but whoever it is, he's just dotting them up. They're looking good. He's mobile. He's running around. If you're telling me that a team like Vegas, a team like, I don't know, trying to think of teams I don't know, Cleveland, a team like, I'm just going down really bad teams, the Saints. If you're telling me that some of these organizations, a lot of these organizations are pretty terrible, but if you don't think they wouldn't be licking their chops thinking, maybe the Lions don't know what they got at their backup. Maybe we could unlock this guy. There's a reason they took him in the third round. If he didn't get hurt, he probably would have been a first-round quarterback. I'm just saying. And obviously, the trade deadline in the NFL is far and away. And right now, there's not any sort of rumors for any sorts of trades of anybody at this point. Just recently, I saw Trey Hendrickson. He's gonna stop the holdout. He's gonna show up at training camp finally. And even though Schefter is saying they're not close to a deal, if you're going to training camp, you're probably a little close to a deal. You're probably at least closer than you were before. So look, some of these teams, they get desperate. They see a quarterback that goes off in the preseason that has a lot of intangibles. And look, I liked Hendon Hooker out of college. I thought he was a solid, quarterback. I mean, he's probably one of the better quarterbacks Tennessee had in a very long time. And, he's mobile. He's got a decent arm. It's more of just, has he kind of lost it due to that? I think it was an ACL injury he had. But, I think it is something of a make or break preseason for Hendon Hooker. Again, it's very funny that's a statement that has to be made because I love the idea of like a make or break year for a backup in the preseason. Like that's just very funny to me. But it is. And look, all joking aside about the quality of the game, it is kind of cool to see the Lions playing it, but I'll tell you, I'm probably going to be falling asleep by the third quarter. Like, we're doing the game because it's a Lions game, and I love calling football. I love watching football. I love watching my Lions play. But, man, that game is going to be boring. It's going to be terrible. There's no Lions making the Hall of Fame this year either, so there's no, I don't get to hear interviews from Calvin Johnson or any of these other former Lions players. It's going to be boring. It's not, and the worst part is we don't even get Tirico and Collinsworth. We're going to get Noah Eagle. We're going to get the C squad. We're not getting, they're not sending their best, okay, to the Thursday night Hall of Fame game. But it's crazy to think it, guys, but football's back. And, in less than about a month or so from now, college football will be back. Michigan State football will be back. We're gonna be right back into the swing of things here. But we got to get through the dog days of August, and we're still not through with July. But we got to get through the dog days of August, and that's when things can get tough. So I'm glad to have Lions football start early, but I also know this game is going to be one of the most putrid experiences of my life, and I will regret watching it. But I am excited to watch it. It's the paradox of NFL fans. We love football so much that when we are devoid of it for as long as this offseason has been, we are willing to go and watch the NFL Hall of Fame preseason game. It's bad. It's bad. I have a problem. I do. All right. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Didn't really have much more to talk about, I guess. Yeah, so look, show note, this Thursday night, we'll be live. We'll be reacting to this Lions preseason game. I would encourage you to come hang out because honestly, we're probably going to be talking about anything but the game. So if you have any random, we could basically treat it like a Q&A, What's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Probably cookies and cream. Actually, I don't know. Is that my favorite? Anyway, you'll have to come to the live stream to find out, but keep an eye out for that. Probably be live around 7:50, maybe 7:55. The game is supposed to, in theory, start at 8 o'clock, and hopefully, God willing, it only lasts 3 hours. Maybe even less than that. Ideally, it could last 2 hours, because they're just running the ball or just they're not actually trying to do anything smart. I guess that's something we get to see Calvin Shepard and John Morton coordinate the offense and defense, respectively. I guess the other way around, defense and offense, respectively. But yeah, I mean they're playing with backups, so it's how, and they're also experimenting. They're like, what happens if we do this? Okay, it's an interception. We won't do that again. Anyway. With that, though, I would like to thank everyone for stopping by and listening in. I do appreciate it. Please do hit the like and hit the subscribe button. It does help me a lot. I would like to get we're right at the end here. MSU Detroit fan. So sorry. But yeah, we already talked about everything. Oh, nice. Wow. That's a late shift. Sorry for you, man. But yeah, I was just talking about we're going to be doing the Hall of Fame game this Thursday, at the very least. So, hopefully that's also trade deadline day. So it'll kind of serve as like immediate reactions to the trade deadline, as well as watching Hendon Hooker play Trey Lance in one of the worst football games you'll ever have the displeasure of watching. But unfortunately, yeah, you popped in a little too late, buddy. Sorry about it. But Cole Keith just struck out. That's fun. All right. We'll be back next week, or rather, we'll be back on Thursday to live react to the Lions game, and then we'll be back next week to break down everything that has gone on throughout the week, including the MLB trade deadline. Going to be a lot of fun, I think, as Gleyber Torres just hit a home run. I love it. Have a good night, everybody, and I will see you all, hopefully, on Thursday. See ya. Have a good night. See you later. Goodbye.